Here we go. This is the first of these systems. Okay, it's called the bottom-up control. And bottom-up refers to the trophic levels. Okay, so what you can see here are different levels, and where at the top we have predators, and then we have forage fish, zooplankton and phytoplankton. So these are the key species that are involved in marine food webs. The bacteria are not shown here because that is nothing that we can really control. Okay. So now, what happens? Bottom up means if there's a disturbance in the lowest trophic level, the phytoplankton. Okay, so what we assume that we have some sort of impact, or we just have a no upwelling and you have a decline in the phytoplankton concentrations. Okay, over time you have an effect. All right, phytoplankton concentration goes down. What happens in the next levels of the food web? Okay, you have less phytoplankton, you get less zooplankton, you get less forage fish, and you get less predators. So this mechanism is passed on from the lowest to the highest trophic level. Okay, so there's a one-to-one response to that. And this is the same happens if you reverse the time axis, if you create a phytoplankton bloom. Okay, unless the oxygen gets used up, because that can kill off the most of the ecosystem in a dead zone. Okay, so that can lead to a collapse. So this one is called bottom-up control. Okay, let's go straight to the next one. Okay, we go to the next one, and this one is now one that I just discussed before. What happens if the number of predators is decimated? Okay, so you kill the predators, the sharks, the seals, you know, and that's the effect, the initial effect that you have initially. Okay, so what happens? You have less predators, you actually get more forage fish. So you get an increase of the number of forage fish. If you have more forage fish, however, they feed more on zooplankton. The zooplankton the abundance decreases, and then you get more phytoplankton. Okay, this is a top-down control, which looks significantly different to the bottom-up control. Okay, so you can see that there are very complex interactions. Okay, totally different to what you would expect. Okay, so this is a top-down control, very, very complex how these systems work. And going straight to the next, which is the wasp waste control. And this is about now you have an event that decimates the number of forage fish. Okay, so there might be some virus, for example, you know, and this happened before. Okay, that can happen in nature. It can be natural or can be an introduced virus. So what happens if you reduce the number of forage fish? So what happens? There will be less predators because here there's less food for them, but you get an increase in zooplankton and a decrease in the phytoplankton. Again, you get different type of quite fascinating response. Okay, so this is the concepts of how marine food webs work. And that's for you quite important to learn these three different types of food web controls.